Hello. I usually let the song play through twice, and of course, I can't hear it on this end. I don't even know what on earth it's like at all. So I'll listen back to the video and I'll even, because I listened to parts in the YouTube library, you guys, but we're talking like 10 seconds. And if I thought I had an interesting little tune or beat, I would download it. So it's by Anna, someone. Anyway, I'm going to turn my camera on in a minute. I just want to make sure that I have what I'm looking for. I have. So just a minute here. Okay. Hi, everybody. How are you? Hi. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Happy Thursday. Sunshine. Hi, Paper Cut and Chat. Freeside. Hola, Tina. Truth Seeker here. All right. Atom and E Proton. How's the finger? Great. That's the front of it. So the nail still looks kind of gnarly, and this is where the line where it almost came off, but right? There's the little white scar thing going up to the side where it, you know, all the way up there. It's great, but I can't bend it. It's extremely stiff, and I looked up things. Hi, Morgan. I don't think I've seen you in here. Sure, I've missed you. Oh, okay, you have been in here. Oh, you're Robin Smith. That's cool. I do remember a Robin Smith. Hi there. Welcome, everybody. Hi, the Liberator 2.0. It's nice of you to come in here, too. I'm pretty sure you're from down south also. South and Midwest, it seems to be where a lot of people are from. So yeah, I think you guys, what I have is called trigger finger. For real. It's where you can't bend it. And it's either due to one of the tendon sheath being cut. I looked this up about 3 days ago. Hi, Tattooed Rebel. Thank you. Hi, ADHD. Well, I don't think you're new to the channel, unless there's another ADHD just like you. Hi, Sean B. All my regulars are in here. How nice. But yeah, so I think it got smashed because it didn't just close like a car door. It was weight of my son's body weight, and he was 160 then, 161 actually, because he and I weigh him now and then, because he does the keto and keeps an eye on his weight because of his meds. Oh, you're funny. CADHD, you have been here. Look at, he's like laughing. Are you trying to pull one over on me? All right. So, yeah, so I looked up this stuff and I can put it in warm water. I'll probably just run it under warm water and do exercises, but it could take months. Amen. It could take months, you guys, to even like years for it to fully be able to move. But in all honesty, because it was immobilized, right, in the whatever the heck splint, that's part of the reason too they become immobile. But I mean, I could force it that far, but any farther it hurts like heck down here and everything. What's weird about the whole thing, you guys, is the fracture was right up here. A teeny little fracture, okay? There was no fracture down here or even here. So I believe it has to do with the splint and a tendon. And as most people know, I refuse to go back to my hand surgeon because he was beyond facetious with me and I just couldn't take it anymore. And I'm usually not like that, especially with serious things and injuries. And you want to, I actually tried to find another bone doctor, and there isn't anybody that'll take anybody here. It's a bummer. I mean, he won't take new patients, and then the other ones won't take my insurance. So I'm stuck with it. So, oh well. Hi, Cool Gamer 2. Hi. Will you guys hit the like for me and subscribe if you haven't? It gets old, doesn't it? Like the first thing out of people's mouths, maybe you just find them, you don't even know if you like them or want to ever listen again, is please subscribe to my channel. But in all honesty, that's the only way we get out in the algorithms so other people can find out about us and with the amount of likes. So anyway, but you might want to wait till the end of the video if you're new and see if you even like this, right? But if you haven't subbed and you're willing to at the end of the video even, I'd greatly appreciate it. So I find past stories lately. That's what I've been doing. Way in the past, about a year ago, I was into all those serial killers from Denmark and Finland and Germany and France and all these different things. I covered that. I covered cruise ship disappearances and things like this. Different things than just what's in the mainstream is what I like to do. But I did cover the Carly Gregg trial all like what, 10 days ago or whatever. And I don't know, you guys. I just think she should have at least gotten parole, life with parole, at least, for crying out loud. She was 14 when she killed her mom and attempted to kill her dad. I mean, but she had a lot of mental issues through her whole young life, which, not everyone with mental issues is going to go out and do something like that. But if anger gets the best of you and you have a loaded gun in the house, well, gee, you know. Oh, why did she shoot her mom? Apparently, the straw that broke the camel's back that day, I'm thinking, is a friend of Carly's told the mother, who was a teacher at the school Carly went to, that she was smoking quite a bit of pot, and he was concerned. Now, there was also the fact, I guess, she had kind of a secret boyfriend, so she's 14 at this time. And she had issues with her in the past. It all came out in trial through a therapist divulging that she crawled out the window once and left in the middle of the night. And so there were kind of these issues, with her becoming a teenager. But her mom at school searched her backpack, and I doubt she did it in front of the other kids, but we don't know. But that's not the point. And apparently they weren't talking all the way home. And I sensed something funny. I said it the very first time I saw them when they got home before the mom was killed. There wasn't looking at each other or, hey, I'm going to cook dinner in an hour and a half or anything. Like they weren't talking. And yeah, so it was not a good ride home. And so, I mean, I don't know. And this is the thing. I didn't even think of this, you guys, but somebody said over in the chat on either Court TV or Law and Crime that I was in the chat just a little bit in Law and Crime because you have to be a member on Court TV. And somebody said, and it makes quite a bit of sense to me, that she wanted her mother gone, or at that moment, or whether she had a psychotic break, I don't know. Um, and then she was framing her dad. So think about that. If her mom is gone and her dad's laying there, it would have looked like a murder, unaliving. I mean, it really would have, by him. Now, cops are smart. She would have been gone out of the house maybe, unless she was planning on being there and just sobbing and saying, oh my gosh, I saw him shoot my mom and this and that. So I found that really interesting. I'm so glad you guys are all here, or I'd be just talking to myself. So maybe that's what she thought she was going to get away with. But her stepfather, that she was living with for 3.5 years, that was remarried or married to her mom, didn't die. The bullet missed him. It sheared his shoulder or something like that. Yeah. And he tackled her and got the pew pew. I don't know what I'm allowed to say on here. I've said gun, I've said pew pew, but pew pew away from her. And then she ran and she got caught, and that's what happened with that. But lately, I've been looking back at cases. This one is from a month ago, and I watched it about an hour ago. It's shocking. it's not just, yes, Adam and Eve Proton. I did watch the video where she was hiding it behind her back, saw her elbow sticking out. Yeah, it was horrible. Yes, Sean B. It is. It sounds to me like a very dysfunctional household with Carly and her mom and her dad. Yeah, and just to icing on the cake, kind of her, when there's genetic mental issues, right? Or I mean, with one of the parents, it can really, um, the children can succumb to some of these mental maladies too. And her father was diagnosed with schizophrenia, but the two different psychiatrists were, debating and arguing even that point. I think he probably did. Or maybe it wasn't that and it was bipolar. One said he had bipolar. The other psychiatrist said no. But the rage and the anger, and yes, her biological dad was taking pills and stuff. Um, I mean, it could have been bipolar. It could have been, I was just walking by my radio a few years ago when I would listen to my radio in the kitchen, and boom, they started talking about IED. And for anybody that doesn't know what that is, it's interesting. It stands for intermittent explosive disorder. Okay. And basically, you explode out of the blue. You're enraged, you're pissed, but in seconds, you can be pretty calm. I thought maybe my son had that. I didn't see these waves of 3 days or even 3 hours of anger. It would just be anger and then, well, what's for dinner type deal. That's IED. And they said on this program that many people get diagnosed with bipolar and have IED, intermittent explosive disorder. No notification, Halloween baby. It's fine that you're late, but I've heard that sometimes you have to unsubscribe, resubscribe, and then of course hit the all on the notifications. Yeah. So I don't know if you've done that or if that'll help, but no worries. So anyway, I'm going to read this before I forget. So this story, bail bond of the worst magnitude, really is, because it's not just someone getting out and killing someone. It's the judge screwing up. It's a lawyer screwing up. It's the clerk, right, that writes things down screwing up. And basically, this man, this is why I had to do the story. This young guy that had already beaten his girlfriend earlier. I mean, she was bloody there's blood on the pistol and everything. He gets put in jail. The address he gave the bail bonds person, which by the way is called Brooks Bondsman or something in Tennessee, which I'll just say right here, I hope it's okay. I don't recommend after hearing this story. And they're going to be sitting in front of a jury and everything of 12 people. So these bonds people, the clerk, all these people to find out what went wrong and probably what kind of charges can be filed, at least by the dad. The dad spoke in the thing, and he's a doctor. Anyway, this guy gave her address of where he was going like it was his home. They didn't look it up. They didn't say whatever. So he shows up from Tennessee to Mississippi at her place. Can you imagine? She was beat to a pulp, pistol whipped, it sounds like, if there's blood on the gun, found in a car. Apparently, either by the dad or the dad had to come and try to help her. He saw all that. He gets out now I don't know. I'm being honest because my memory isn't that great, you guys. I mean, I had a stroke. It'll be 4 years in February, and a Keys methyl stroke when I was 58. But I don't know if it's that age or what. But I could see something half an hour ago and plumb forget a name, even a state. But I know this Bryson kid, whatever, I'm going to call him a kid, was from Tennessee and she was from Mississippi. And she loved animals like most people do. And I think she might have been in nursing school. She was a model, had all this stuff going for her. He basically kidnapped her, got her in the car. I mean, I betcha he had keys copied so that if he ever got back to her residence, he could get in. Because when I heard this, I was thinking, well, why did she let him in? Well, obviously, right? People can break windows and all this. They didn't talk about how he got in. Yeah. Okay. So it's very distressing because really the worst magnitude came to my mind. I was like, man, this isn't a bail bond gone bad or whatever, right? This is like really bad, a travesty. Girl was blonde, so I put, a picture of a little like woman in her 20s and BLOOD droppings. All right. He gets out and he kills her, beats her to a pulp. He apparently didn't shoot her, but he beats her. I almost think that would be worse. Don't you guys? I mean, don't you? Like, if you're going to do it, get it over with, is my feeling. But the beatings and all this, so she died and never should have happened. It could have been prevented. Yeah, yeah. So when I just looked up this case on the other iPad, because I got to pull it up on that one and then I'm talking into this one, there are other bail bond failures, right? It's another man that got out and killed his girlfriend. You know what I'm noticing? Well, it's still happening, but there's so much, and there's a word for it. There's femicide, which are females constantly. There's the parent one, which is parricide. I did programs on this like 8 months ago. There's, you know what I mean, siblings killing each other, this type deal, and there's a name for that. But we have a real gosh darn problem with domestic violence. And I did a whole thing on the control wheel and all that in the past. The control, they try to control you, what you wear, what you say, isolate you from your family. And I took a class called, or many classes called New Beginnings in this state of Washington back when I was dealing with issues and knew I needed knowledge. And boy, did I learn it. It wasn't about going in this room and you got to get out of there. No, that's the most dangerous time. You got to get your ducks in a row, be careful who you tell, this and that and the other thing, and have a place to go. Don't ever meet up with the man or woman, because I made it clear in these in the series that I did on the domestic violence thing. I think it was 3 weeks long, or maybe 2, I think. And I covered everything: boundaries, marital RAPE, same sex relationship, domestic violence. So lots of those. And codependency, where the healthy is interdependency, not codependency. I've been codependent in my 20s. Like, I know I was. It's like, especially when I lived near Boston. But, I had a boyfriend and he was very abusive, but I never felt happy unless he was happy. That's major codependency, besides other factors. And I left, you guys. I was there a year. I gave 2 weeks notice at Friendly's restaurant, and I left him. Didn't tell him where I was going. He didn't believe I was going to leave. He took my face, pulled me down. He goes, "You'll never leave me." And I got on that plane and I left. And I haven't talked to him since, you guys. I haven't. I don't know if he's dead or alive, his kids, nothing. Nothing. You know, I could look him up on Facebook if I wanted to. You know, he's probably under his real name now. His real name was Todd something because he found his birth parents about a week before I left. Anyway, so copyright disclaimer. Hi, Sister Callie. This video is for educational purpose only. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976 allowance, is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Okay, he sounds like a pussy. I gotta put that up because, like, it looks like he sounds like a pussy. Puh, P-U-H, but I know what you're saying. You're so funny. Yeah, frankly, yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there is hundreds of cases, not just women and men, getting tossed around and locked out of their house and beat and threatened and all this stuff. I mean, it does happen to men. It really does. The percentage they said it was low. It was like 13% men and 50% women, or maybe 70. I can't remember, but it's a difference. But still, you know, yeah, sounds more like torture. Yeah. Thank you, Sean B. Thanks for putting that in there. That's nice. It's all there. And education. Did I say that? Oh, and then there's more. Thank you. What do you guys think with my bangs off my face? Just showing my face. You think this is an okay style? I kind of like it. I mean, it's a little young, and obviously I'm not young, but anyway, I'm going to turn my camera and mute and try to find that exact Law and Crime Network program that I saw where the father comes on and speaks and how frustrated he is. And you guys will know why I had to cover this. I stop it about every 10 to 15 seconds so I don't get a copyright because, thanks ADHD, that's nice of you, because I'm not monetized. I believe if I was monetized, it wouldn't be as big of a deal. Thank you, ADHD. Okay, hang on a moment. Talk amongst yourselves. Please hit the like, you guys. I have to scroll back to a month back, even though this happened in June and July time, right? Which is more than a month back. Okay, here we go, a month back. Sorry, I couldn't be more prepared because my son has this iPad and he listens to music. And when I get it, then I get it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, there's just one after another of just, golly. How am I ever going to find this, you guys? I'm not very good with technology stuff at all. Fiddlesticks. Okay. All right, I found it. It's 32 minutes, and I'm going to speed up the speed just a little bit. I think it has to go a certain amount fast to not have to keep stopping it, but I don't know who would know anything about that. If it's speeded up a little, maybe it's okay, but again, maybe not. Okay. Okay, here we go.
Officials say a man was released on bond in Tennessee, then drove to Mississippi to kill his girlfriend. Now, the bail bonds companies that helped him get out of jail are coming under fire. We sit down with the victim's father to discuss the case, the bail companies, and what's next. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. We told you a few weeks back about the brutal murder of 22-year-old Lauren Johansson. And I want to be clear about this because based on what we have reported and what we are seeing now, and we have a lot of new information that we want to dive into, this killing should not have happened. This killing, in my opinion,
Should not have happened. So let me get the volume going a little bit.
Bryson Rivers had been locked up in Nashville, Tennessee.
Bryson
Why?
Rivers.
Accused of beating Lauren inside of a car while they were on vacation. Lauren had managed to call her family to say that she thought Rivers was going to kill her, so police pinpoint her location. They arrest Rivers. It's reportedly caught on body cam. They charge him with aggravated kidnapping, interference with a 911 call, very serious charges. Lauren went to the hospital with serious injuries and then goes home to Mississippi to try to recover. Now, that was back in December of 2023. Lauren's father, Dr. Lance Johansson, who we're going to speak to in a minute, told WLOX News that he warned the judge overseeing this case, at the time, criminal court judge Cheryl Blackburn, that Rivers should not be let out, that he was a danger to Lauren. So Rivers ends up spending months in jail, but this judge decided to lower his bond from $250,000 to $150,000. And he was eventually able to post it and was released on June 24th. Now.
Okay, so see, I forgot about that part. The father was even imploring, please don't let him out. And that's such a basic main thing, but I was so caught up in the clerk and the judge and this father, he'll say at the end of this video, wants the judge to resign. He said maybe she was just fine all the way up till now, but he said her time is over. And frankly, I agree. All right.
Apparently, the judge placed some conditions on this release. So Rivers had to wear a GPS monitoring device, he couldn't leave the county, and he was prohibited from having any contact whatsoever with Lauren. Rivers reportedly used two bonding companies to make that happen: Brooks Bail Bonding and On Time Bonding. They split the cost of the bond. But here's the thing. While Rivers was supposed to be fitted with a GPS monitor that would make sure he stayed within confined limits, a confined geographical area, that didn't happen. We're going to come back to that in just a second. But Lauren's father had reportedly got a voicemail from the Davidson County District Attorney's Office in Nashville. And it reportedly said, quote, "This is Bailey calling from the..."
Okay. This is Bailey calling from the District Attorney's Office in Nashville. Yeah, waste your life over one girl, says Adam and Eve Proton. Yeah, and the way it looks like they've been going out for a while, he was probably just stuck on her, right? And then she saw his true colors.
The District Attorney's Office in Nashville. Bryson Rivers was released from custody. He was supposed to report straight to a GPS company and be put on a GPS monitor, and he was not to leave Davidson County. But as soon as he was released, he did not report to that GPS monitoring company, and he has not been heard from. I wanted to make sure Lauren is safe. Well, unfortunately, Lauren was not safe. Unfortunately, Lauren would be found dead, reportedly beaten to death days later. So here's a very important new piece of information that just came out.
Days later. It's so sad. You know what's really sad? Later on in this video, the father says, I believe it's the father, I could be wrong. He says that she said was it to him? If Bryson ever kills me, either watch out for the animals or take care of the kids, or I don't know, but she knew he wanted to kill her. I doubt it's just out of anger. I'm thinking she probably wanted to leave him, right? But I don't know the stipulations.
Court officials have confirmed that one of their clerks made a mistake where they didn't notify the Davidson County Jail about Rivers' bond conditions. So the jail didn't know that he was supposed to get an ankle monitor or be released to a bonding company. So Rivers just ends up walking out without supervision. And remember, he wasn't allowed to leave Davidson County. So he's released, but he apparently calls Brooks Bail Bonding on his own. And Brooke Harlan, the owner of Brooks Bail Bonding, hired Freedom Monitoring for GPS services. This is a company run by one of her employees, that woman, Nikita.
Freedom Monitoring. I don't know. Do people that are negligent in other people's contributing to other people's demises, should they be jailed, do you guys think? The clerk kind of just forgot something, but the bondsman, they overlooked many things. Addresses, making sure he had this GPS monitor on, all kinds of failings from their part.
Wilhoit sent a letter to Judge Blackburn explaining that she didn't know about the judge's bail conditions when Rivers was released. At the time, she installed the ankle monitor, but she claims she did set up zones for the device when she found out about everything. So this was on June 28th when she found out and set up these zones. But again, that's 4 days after he has already been released. Now, Wilhoit said in her letter to the judge that she called Rivers that day and said he needed to come back to the business so that she could replace the GPS monitor. And guess what happens? Rivers allegedly shows up at Brooks Bail Bonding with Lauren. One of his conditions was that he wasn't supposed to have any contact with her. But instead of calling the police...
How effed up is that? That pissed me off too. This is why I said this is the worst magnitude. That I've heard so far. Maybe there's other worse bail bond situations out there with people getting out and these things happening. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, you guys. Washington State doesn't mess around. I saw a woman getting handcuffed right out on the play area here. And apparently it was due to a restraining order that she had broke. And yeah, so they don't mess around. And when there's a domestic violence, like a mark or anything, you just take a checkbook, your checkbook, because, well, I won't say who, but someone was in those classes and they said this guy just went like this one time to his wife's shoulder, whatever, with the checkbook. That's assault. And he had to take classes. So they don't mess around here, they don't play, and they automatically, when one goes to jail, they put a restraining order out, the state. And I've had it happen now, two different restraining orders the state did against my daughter's father. So I've been through it. And I went up to the podium, and 4 months had gone by, and I said, please, I'm not afraid of him, la, 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 la. I mean, I should have been, I guess, but I knew he had grand mal seizures and that affected his brain. And then we found out in our 8-year relationship, 2 years in, he was bipolar. So I felt like he couldn't really help it, blah, blah, blah. And they let him out. The second time, the judge said, no, it's going to be 6 months. So, yeah. Aw, thank you. Thanks so much. I try, like, this is green, right? I try to do the same eyeshadow as my clothes. I mean, I had pink yesterday. I've worn purple before. I like a bright purple. But in my videos a few months back, I think I had, especially the blue, way too darn high up, right? Not just on top. And then I do a little eyeliner on the insides of my eyes and color down below. And that makes it pop. And then I put a little eyeliner just on the sides. And I actually saw this on TV because if you do eyeliner all the way across, ladies, especially when you get older, it makes your eyes drag down. See, it gives you that kind of look. So you want to do just the side. But anyway, who cares? I just wear that, blush, and lipstick. And of course, I color my hair and my eyebrows. That's it. I don't do foundation. I've never used a mask. And I have no fillers. See, I have wrinkles. They're not too bad. I have pretty good skin, but people are assuming in the past when I was dancing and different things that, or not filler. Yeah, I have no fillers, but I have no filters. I don't even know how to do those. Like, seriously, I don't. What on earth would you even hit to make your face look different? And then why would you want to? If you ever got to meet anyone on the internet, why would you want to look that much different, right? Okay. I guess we should embrace our not our aging, embrace our, what am I trying to say? Embrace our, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I knew what I was saying about a week ago about getting older. Embrace getting older.
It appears Rivers was allowed to leave. He should have been arrested on the spot. So, of course, it becomes a question, why didn't this happen? Did they not see her? Did they not know? And what happens? Days later, Lauren is found dead in Mississippi. Her dead body discovered in the back seat of her car in a cemetery, reportedly wrapped up in sheets and trash bags, and Rivers is accused of killing her. And Dr. Lance Johansson, again, who we're going to be speaking to in a second, was there. He was at the crime scene. He reportedly helped the coroner lift his own daughter's body out of that car.
Oh, that's when.
As for Rivers, he was reportedly seen running away from the scene into a wooded area. This involved drones, dozens of officers, air support dogs as they were following him. And the police.
Okay, so remember I said I thought the father was there. Well, it was around there or something at the first beating, pistol whip, bloody pistol thing. He had to lift her. Oh, golly, you guys.
Police were able to lure him out of the woods by pretending to be a friend who was texting with him, and they apprehend him. He's arrested. He's booked for Lauren's murder, this time on a $1 million bond in Harrison County, Mississippi.
$1 million.
But we now know Rivers has been moved to Forest County. It's about an hour away because investigators believe that is where he actually killed Lauren and then took her to that cemetery in another jurisdiction. He's facing now 3 felony counts in Forest County: first-degree murder, tampering with evidence, and larceny by taking of a motor vehicle. So Lauren's loved ones say this wouldn't have happened if Rivers had been kept behind bars in Tennessee after that initial alleged attack. And now Nashville judges, they want answers about Rivers' release from the Davidson County Jail on June 24th. A 6-judge panel has scheduled an evidentiary hearing for August 15th, where representatives from Brooks bail bonding and on-time bonding are expected to testify.
Okay. So I wonder, that was on August 15th. They had this hearing, and it wasn't 12 people, it was 6. This is what I mean. I get some of the facts incorrect, but yeah, just horrible. I don't even want to show this lady. I don't think I will. She's the bonds.
Testify. The bottom line, they need to figure out how on earth this happened. The panel will be seeking receipts, documents, emails, photographic evidence of what these companies knew before Rivers left the state. In the court order, it states, it appears to the court that certain irregularities may have accompanied the posting of bond and release of the defendant.
Irregularities.
Now, each of these companies could face suspension or lose their ability to write bonds in Davidson County, depending on what the panel decides. There could also be criminal consequences as well.
Good.
Brooke Harlan, who I mentioned, she owns Brooks Bail Bonding. She released a statement saying, I'm welcoming the hearing and looking forward to the truth and real facts being presented in the said hearing. There has been a lot of misinformation in conjunction with flat-out lies that have been put out there, and I'm looking forward to setting the record straight, as everyone deserves to know the truth. Well, Lauren's father started a GoFundMe in memory of his daughter, saying she was an act.
Good grief. All right, so he's going to talk pretty soon here, and he started a GoFundMe. And I mean, I don't have the money to help people with GoFunds, but if you guys would like to, she's got 2 brothers and a sister. It's very devastating. If you'd like to go to the GoFundMe, however that's done.
Animal lover. She was studying to become a registered nurse. If anybody wants to contribute, please.
Darn.
Family needs your support. And at the end of the day, this is just another case of a young person taken away too soon.
That's right.
Okay, so now I want to bring in Dr. Lance Johansson to talk about this absolutely tragic, horrible case that, in my opinion, was easily preventable. And we're going to get to the bottom of where these mistakes happened. But Doctor, good to see you again. For people who don't know, we've had the chance to meet on another program before, but I just want to tell you again, I can't tell you how sorry I am for your loss and for what you and the family are going through.
This is her father. Yeah, he's devastated. I mean, like anyone would be.
Particularly as we learn more about lapses that happened here. And again, how Lauren's death, again, my opinion, was easily preventable. But I want to ask you, since the last time we spoke, how are you and the family doing right now?
Well, I appreciate you asking. And of course, we're not doing very good. We buried Lauren the Saturday before last. It was very difficult. But I just want to let everybody know that we're struggling. We're doing the best we can. And this is just a horrendous thing to have to deal with. And I just want my daughter back.
Aww.
The GoFundMe that you set up.
Hi,
Is that a direct
Tams.
way that people can help support you guys through this? And again, if you could tell us a little bit more about it.
Well, the GoFundMe that we set up for Lauren, as I mentioned in the GoFundMe, she and I were driving back from Nashville, and he says, "Daddy, if he ever kills me, please make sure that my animals and the kids." She called her younger brother and her younger brother and sister, who are the twins, the kids, because she was pretty much like their mother. When they were born, she was a little bit older, and as we managed before, my wife's a little incapacitated, so she and I have been a tag team taking care of their mother and the other 3 children that I have.
God.
And just I don't know, I almost lost my train of thought there, just thinking how difficult it is to take care of them. But what Lauren wanted was them to be taken care of, and we're not exactly sure how we're gonna make the funds in her honor work. But her life goal was to take care of her brother and sisters, her 2 brothers and her sister.
God.
Well, we are going to put the GoFundMe up. This will be amplified. People will see this,
It
and hopefully
really
they can help
is.
you in any way that you need help. Last time I spoke to you, I said you were the rock of this
You
family.
get her
You're
2
being strong for
brothers,
your
her
family.
younger
Clearly, you're doing
sister,
that. Look, I
Lauren
know this is a
Johansson.
horrifying story, but it is a story that we think is important for you to hear about. And we're able to bring you these kinds of stories because of the support we get from our sponsors. And I want to call one out right now, Noble Gold. So look, if you're worried about the future of the economy.
Okay, I can't have any commercials on here, and so let me forward this, please.
Lauren for a minute. People who don't know,
Yes.
they read the stories about Lauren, but that's not enough. What can you tell us about Lauren, who she was, what kind of person she was? Because she seemed such a terrific human being and was taken too early in this life.
You know, the first thing that's kind of come towards me now that I've lost Lauren is that just such a wonderful, sweet person. And I just realized that she and I never really got in an argument. She never used foul language. She was just such a sweet, polite, and wonderful person. And when she talked to you, she had this voice of an angel. And it didn't matter what was going wrong. She was going to tell you, it's going to be okay. Don't worry. Everything is going to be fine. And just this calming voice that you didn't have any choice but to believe what she said. And a lot of people didn't know it, but when Lauren was very young, she was very gifted, and they wanted to take her to the math and science school in our state. We ended up not doing that, but Lauren was a genius. She was just super, super smart. And of course, she's just drop dead gorgeous. And, you know, she had a career she could have done as a model. She could have done anything she wanted to do. We thought she'd be best as an attorney, following your footsteps, because she could win any argument she had with you. I don't mean an argument, but I mean a discussion. You were going to lose. Just was a matter of time, how long it was going to be till you're going to lose. So the most kind person.
Oh, yeah, she definitely, you know, had a lot she could have done and should have been able to.
The most giving person. If you called her and you've never met her before and you said, hey, I know your dad, Dr. Johansson, will you do this for me? She would be asking you, where does she need to go and what does she need to do to help you? And, you know, her love of animals is just amazing. And I really saw her in the future having her own, either working with me as a nurse practitioner, but having her rescue place very, very close by, and then being an advocate for animals. In this case, if it was her sister that had been murdered, she would be advocating for women's rights and the battered woman syndrome, and anything she could do to, pretty much like the platform you have. I could see her doing that, very easily.
Like I said,
All right, I had said she was possibly in nursing school. No, father said, she could have been a nurse practitioner with him or many other things.
and like such a great, wonderful person. I wish I had the opportunity to meet her. And again, as I hear you describe her, and I hear that love, and I hear what she shared with her family and her friends, I'm just so sorry. I am so sorry that this happened and you're going through this. But we want to make sense of what happened, why this happened. And the last time we spoke, you had mentioned something to me about how you just want to make sure nothing like this happens in the future. So we got a lot of information since we last spoke.
Thank you,
And
Tams.
I am curious, between the bail bonds companies, the clerk's error, who do you think is at fault for what happened here? In other words, who's at fault for this defendant being let out and ultimately, allegedly killing your daughter?
Well, I think that this particular incident of my daughter's death really, it points out to all the different errors in the justice system. It's not just showing it from the top; it's showing it to the bottom.
Wow. See, this is what I mean. All the different errors from the top to the bottom, he says.
It's showing failures along the whole way. And like any other algorithm, you got to start at the top, right? So the top of the algorithm is the judge reducing the bond and letting him out. And I'll just say that it's grotesque enough to see the pictures of Lauren, but imagine seeing this young woman being beaten to death in her car, blood everywhere, a bloody pistol on the ground, a savage man on top of her beating her, and the police open the door with a video having a body cam,
Oh,
basically taking a video of him trying to kill her.
That's how he saw
And
it.
this judge has this video in possession and evidence, and they can look at it and let this man out of jail. I just don't understand it.
No.
Can we pause right there? Why did the
Okay, see, he saw it, but on the body cam police video, I mean, he had to, right? To go to court, bring justice to her, but oh, Lord.
judge let him out? Why did the judge
Try to
reduce the
bring
bond?
justice.
And you had made a plea to the court: do not let him out. He will come after my daughter. What was the rationale? Did you get a response to your pleas? I mean, what was the rationale, and what was the response to what you were saying?
Well, unfortunately, Jesse, what I said fell on deaf ears. And I will just tell you that there's a lot of different ways the story has been told. But when I first went to Nashville a week after this, when they first had the first preliminary hearing, this is the time that I gave them all this information. I gave them the pictures that I've shared with the media. The horrendous crime was even reduced in the first hearing. We knew that he had a gun and he beat her with it and it was bloody. And they tried to, take away an attempted murder charge even at that time. And nobody understands aggravated kidnapping, but the translation aggravating kidnapping means attempted murder while you're holding someone hostage. So unfortunately, that doesn't ring a bell when people understand what this charge was.
Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't know if someone was kidnapped and they were being hurt. That's aggravated MURDER. Is that what he just said? I think that's what he said.
But we sat there with the initial, I guess you would say, the prosecutor, the victim advocates, and the judge. And this is the time I told them also that she had been hit over 100 times, and they assured me. I'm just telling you, they assured me there was no way this man was ever getting out of jail, and they assured me that everything was going to be taken care of. So they told me that they were going to let me know when his trial was going to be, and it should be sometime in July or August. So I never heard a word from him. I just want to make this clear. I never received any contact, even though I was told if anything was going to change, I would be notified. And I know you're an attorney, and I'm a witness to what happened here. I was on the phone with the police trying to locate her, and she would have already been dead if we weren't able to find her the night that he was beating her and tried to kill her.
See that? She would have been dead that night. Hi, Stardust. Hi there. Yeah, another sad situation, but I'm bringing attention definitely to. Okay, I always thought, I mean, I'm pretty naive with all this stuff, and I'm still learning about all kinds of things, even how to kind of use YouTube and whatnot. But I thought the bondsman people were only in control of the money part. Okay? He actually says in here somewhere, the father, that this woman, Brooke, whatever, from the bondsman place in Tennessee, was supposed to go with this Bryson to get his ankle monitor. And I'm like, what? Like, I thought they were just in charge of money. But no. Or maybe theirs is just different and others are just money. I mean, have you ever heard of anything like that? We'll keep listening.
So I never hear a word from him. I think everything's okay until I get this recording out of the blue, which I know you've listened to before. And, in all honesty, it was too late. He already had her.
Yep.
One of the reasons seems to be this error by the court clerk where the Davidson County Jail didn't have Rivers' bond conditions when he was released. What do you know about that? What do you think about that?
It just shows the incompetency in the system, and I hate to say it that way, but the system doesn't communicate with itself. And here's what I'll say: when I wasn't notified of any of these hearings, so I had to go back and read them all myself. And I see the judge saying, no, you can't have bond because of this. You can't have it for this. You can't have it for this. So they finally meet all these things that she wants them to do, all the while knowing that at the same time, the grand jury.
Wow. See what I mean? It just gets worse and worse and worse. And you can just hear the anguish in his voice when he's speaking. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so sad.
The jury has indicted him during this process, okay? And during this process, the judge is on record saying, based on the body cam video alone, there is a high probability of conviction in this case. So I don't know how you can look at that information, see the woman's face beaten to death, and let her out. But to answer your question,
Let him out.
so they come up with all these rules, and the rules are kind of being skipped over a little bit.
Hi,
because it was,
Unwrenched.
more than just you had to have an ankle monitor and you had to stay in the county. There was an address he had given them of where he was supposed to stay. There was a certain time that he was supposed to be let out of the jail. The bond person was supposed to be there at the jail when he got out to take him directly to the ankle monitoring company during the hours during the day before 4 o'clock. So those are just some of the errors that are made off of the bond amended order. And unfortunately, you go through all this process, and a clerk makes an error and doesn't share that information with the jail when they release him.
See, you guys? Who in chat, seriously, who in chat has ever, am I just like way behind the times or something? Bonds people go with you to get your ankle monitor, and they're the ones, I mean, that makes sense, but I didn't even know they were the ones that got the address for where the person goes when they get out. I mean, that makes sense because they're the bonds people. But did they say that the bonds people forgot or just didn't, or it was just too late? I think they say it was 4 days too late, like he said, when the courts got the address of where he said he was going, which was Lauren's home, for crying out loud.
The idea that he supposedly shows up at the bond offices with Lauren, that was shocking to hear.
That
well,
too.
I'll tell you what's so shocking. So imagine them letting the savage animal out of jail out on the street. He has nowhere to go. He doesn't have the place to stay. He doesn't know what to do. So, I mean, I can't believe that he actually called the bail bond to say, what do I do? You know what I mean? He didn't have a car to drive home to go kill Lauren. So if this is not absolutely ludicrous, I'm just going to tell you that this other company put the ankle monitor on him, okay?
Yep.
This company that owned the ankle monitor was also a bail bonds person, one of the employees of the bail bonds company. The bail bond company signed this order about 3 weeks before he was let out of jail. So if you're going to sign a document on somebody,
3 weeks before, a document was signed 3 weeks before to let him out of jail.
Let up their bond, at least you can do is make a file and put on there what you signed. It's just common sense. Being an attorney like you are, if you didn't keep track of your records of what you did, you wouldn't be in practice very long. So to answer your question about him showing back up with her, so when he gets out, he tells them, oh yeah, I can go to Mississippi. And so guess what address he gave them? He gave them Lauren's home address of where to send him. So they got him a bus ride home to Mississippi, sending him to the address of the woman he wanted to kill.
Okay, let's ponder that for a minute. This is why I did a show on it. I went back in law and crime about a month, and I'm going to do other programs that really catch my attention, by this Law and E crime network. And so far, I haven't gotten a copyright or anything of what I've done the last few days, but I keep stopping it. I talk in between. I'm making it my own. I was told if you make it your own, interjecting, or I could have music in the background, I believe, right? Going the whole time, and that would be making it my own. But in all honesty, I don't know. I don't know. It seems like it's a little better with commentating and interacting with the chat in between than just having music and playing this whole cotton picking thing.
Basically what happened after that, and to answer your question, the monitor they put on him wasn't working right. And someone, this was on a Monday, so on Friday, everybody realized they screwed up, okay? So this is the day they called me as well. And basically what happened is that they all realized, wow, this guy got out of jail. There's no monitor. We don't know where he is. What do we do? And everybody got the bond conditions so they would know then because they said they didn't have them, right? So in this time period, Bryson's got a hold of Lauren, and it's against her will.
Wow. Okay, so can I gift you an Amazon gift? It would be really nice. I actually um went over to the Amazon gift registry thing and tried to sign up on one, and now I can't remember if I think I wasn't able to get all the way through for some reason. I mean, I can look into it. Um if you're wanting to get me something, what I really need, like for, a bag of kitten chow and when things get low, um even though they're a year old, their teeth are still really small. If anybody wants to support me in any way, as most people know, I have 3 kittens and too many cats. We'll just leave it that way. Um, I have a Cash App, right? And a PayPal here. $ paper cut Tina, and I also have at Dakota Dame 0627, if that would work. I don't like pushing that. I've gotten flack from other other creators on channels about even asking for help with kittens, getting them spayed, buying food, whatever. The thing is, we didn't ask to have kittens. The mama kitty was supposed to be a boy. We were told was a boy. And then it was a few months or a year before that, we had rescued a kitty out here, which ended up being a male, was skinny and so hungry and everything. And he impregnated a he, but not a he, a she. And my kids, who are grown adults, found 3 little 5-day-old baby kittens. Eyes were still closed, behind the couch. I didn't even know he or she, apparently, Soots. I didn't even name Soots a female name. Soots is kind of a male name, whatever. Black and white, half Maine Coon, a female name. But yeah, I don't have a P.O. box either. Um, oh, yeah, I don't have a P.O. box. That might be kind of a fun thing to do because I've had other people ask me that in the past. I think I'll look into that. Not even I think, I will. I'll call. What is it, like $40 a month or something? Um, but yeah, you're wanting to send me something than just money. Um, yeah, I don't know what to say, but I will call and ask and see how much it is per month to have a PO box. Now, I would have to go like to the post office every other day or once a week and see there is one kind of up and over and maybe 10 blocks from here, but I'll look in. Oh, you'd like to send me a nice stand for my tablet. I have, I'm not even kidding. I practically forgot I have it. I'm leaning my iPad against a plant so it can lean, and it's got the back, the little thing that folds or whatever and Velcro shut. I have a table that was sent to me with a little groove in it for my iPad. And I used to lean on the wall. If you look in my other videos, on my back like this and have it set up in the table. There's a little, indentation place for iPads. And I could probably do that. The thing is, if I'm not, like if I was in a chair and had the table even on my bed up or on the floor, I wouldn't be able to see gosh darn chat. So when I can get my contact appointment, which I plan on doing, that's $80, and then $90 to pay for contacts because all of mine are old, dirty. I've had 2 rip in my eye, like literally. Part of it slid up under. It was awful. And I'm supposed to wear them 1 month, and I was wearing each pair 2 months for years, and then 3 months, and I could get things wrong with my eyes. And so, anyway, once I have my contacts, you guys, I'll be able to be back here. I can read chat. You won't just see, my neck all the time. So, but thank you for that. I mean, I do have a table, but that's really, really sweet of you. Oh, maybe it is only 8 or 10 a month. Wow, that's not bad. I'm going to look into it. I mean, it's 5:10 here now, so they're closed, right? Oh, oh my gosh. Wow, that's really, really nice. Thank you. They're not open today, I don't believe, after 5, and tomorrow's Friday, so I'm going to call. I'm going to write it down so I don't forget, and I'm going to look into it, make sure it's not too much. And if it's not, you know what I mean? I'm going to do that. Even if it's like 20 a month. If it's 30 or 40 or something, I don't think I can afford it. You know what I mean? Do I need to look in the closet or something? For what? Oh, because my son came to the door. No, he doesn't want anything out of there. He wants dinner. And I told him before my live, we eat at 5, 5:30 or 6. So I explained to him how I'm running this, and he's older, he's 28, but he doesn't have the patience of most people, or many. That I'm running this video, this 32-minute video, on 1.5 times the speed or whatever. And I'm stopping and talking because I need to make it my own. He understands more now. It's been an hour and 20 minutes. And when I run out of my 20 hours for this month, because I think it's the 28th, I get a turnover of 20 more hours. And I think I might have 5 or 6 left, or 4 after this video. I can do my lives, which I finally figured out what to hit, how to stop the stream. It's all very basic, but if you don't know whether to hit an X or an arrow, where you have to go back on an iPad to shut down your stream on a YouTube live, not StreamYard. Very simple things like that, but there's a certain order of everything. So I wanted to film the rain during the day because it was like a river, really loud, like that kind of rain, right? But I ended up figuring it out and getting a little one in, if anybody wants to see it, of nighttime rain. About, I'd say 3 hours later, it just that kind of rain. And now today it's all dry out there. Like, now when we were having that flooding in Washington State, was that like 3 years ago? I can't remember now. I kid you not, 5 blocks from here, down on like Iowa Street, there was 5 feet of water. People were in canoes. All the car dealerships are down there. I mean, it was crazy. And, we had a lot of rain many days. And that's when one man lost his life in Sumas, a good half hour from here, trying to get to work at 5:30 in the morning. Was in his pickup and he went off and drowned. And yeah. Yes. Oh, I just thought it'd be nice to see you. Ooh. Oh, that's really nice. Homemade pie and dumplings. Wow. Isn't it just water and flour? And you just squeeze them together and drop them in like, chicken broth or something. Now I want to make dumplings one of these days. And I'm going to. I'm going to write that down in P.O. Box. No, nothing up there. I did organize my closet and got rid of a few things, some great big pillows that were laying around, like kind of childish kitty cat Christmas ones. And I did that while I was on my 3-month hiatus. All right. Here we go. We've got 10 minutes left.
And the monitoring company calls him because they're not getting a good signal in Mississippi with his ankle. So he takes Lauren hostage and he drives back to Nashville. Okay. And he goes to the bail bonds office where the monitor lady is after they've got all the stipulations of what's in the amended bond agreement. Okay. I don't know that they saw Lauren. I didn't know that she was there. We didn't know where she went. And basically he's there. They know he shouldn't be there. They know he's already violated his bond because they told him. They told the bail bonds company and the monitoring company what the rules were. So they knew that he had already violated it. The DA even talked to him. So did the, I guess we'll call it the, I don't know if you want to call it a probation officer or whatever they are when they get out on bond. So he comes back. They let him go and they screw this all up, right? He comes back and they still screw it up. The man should have been arrested the minute they saw him. The bond company has an obligation on and it says in clear writing at the bottom of the amended bond order, he must be apprehended and taken directly to the jail. So they had him again and they screwed it up.
They had him again, this Bryson character, and they screwed it up. This is what I mean. I could cheat and use canned biscuits, like the Pillsbury thing. Okay, now see, that's the other thing. I didn't even really know biscuits went with dumplings. Now, my dumplings, my grandma in Iowa would make homemade chicken noodle soup, right? And the noodles were thick and chewy and homemade, unbelievably good. I mean, it was like dumplings almost. That sounds really, really good. And I will do that. I'll buy canned biscuits. Oops.
The bond companies are under investigation. There's going to be a panel of judges who are going to look into this. What are you hoping happens as a result of that hearing?
In all honesty with you, first of all, the judges need to have a meeting by themselves. And really, whoever the judges' bosses are, I don't know who it is. You probably know. They need to have a meeting with the judges first. And they let the judges know that your behavior is unacceptable. Your decision-making is unacceptable. This is a broken system. We have to fix it. So it's easy for the judges to start pointing fingers at other people. But you know as well as I do, when you point a finger at somebody, there's three fingers pointing back at you, aren't they? So I would like to see the judge that made this error resign. That's the first thing that I'm calling for. She's done a nice job maybe in the years of being a judge, but at this point, time's up, it's over. You aren't capable of making good decisions. And I don't mean to say this in an ugly way, but this has already been documented before this ever happened with Lauren, that there was issues with this judge sleeping on the job and not having the ability to, rule like she used to.
Did you file a complaint against this?
Okay. Oh, just get a can of chicken, some chicken broth, and just pull up the biscuits apart in little pieces. Wow. Wow. Okay, so they can be raw biscuits from the Pillsbury thing and then just put them in and they cook. Because I always thought you had to bake biscuits only. I mean, I honestly did. As you guys could see, I'm not a cook. I mean, I can cook. Anybody can read a recipe book, right? But being knowledgeable and making a whole bunch of things in my life, no. I haven't done that. Okay, here we go.
This judge?
I have not filed a complaint against this judge except for verbally in interviews with you. The time will come for that. We are in the grieving process right now, and I don't know how long this process is going to take. It probably will never end for me. But I think that there's other people, and I'll just say one person in an article.
Mm-hmm. You know what I need to do for real? I'm going to make a note of this, is try to find all I can. I mean, I doubt it was televised, right? But the hearing on August 15th, I think they said it was, and find out what the heck happened, if anything, right? To the clerk, the lawyer, the judge, the bonds people, because it was just an unraveling of mistakes, right? Yeah, Sean B. Terrible. Sounds delish. Turn your broth on just less than a boil. Put your biscuits in and they take a little bit to cook, and then add your chicken and easy peasy. um, what is that? Oh, for Saints Pete? What is it that people said? Uh, oh gosh, my grandma used to say it. Oh, Pete's sake. Oh, for Pete's sake. All right, here we go.
Something's not right here. Do something about it, and it's not being listened to.
Has the judge ever issued an apology for this? Has the judge ever issued an explanation for this? Has she defended herself at all from this?
All I can find is that everything says no comment.
I asked you this last time. I'm curious. Did anyone apologize to you? The bail companies, the court? Has anybody apologized to you?
Nobody has apologized to me. Nobody has talked to me. The only communication that I've had is as I discussed with you, is I talked to the on-call DA the day that we found her body beforehand, and I said, whatever y'all done here is not right. I said, you can't even tell me where the GPS location is with the ankle monitor, and the, I was trying to be nice because I was looking for my daughter, even though I was upset with what they had done. So I tried to call them, and they wouldn't answer my phone call. And I sent an email saying I was very disappointed that being a witness, and even on the amended bond order, it says that the perpetrator is not supposed to have any contact with the witnesses either. You would think you would let the witness and the victim, in this case, both know, but I was not notified. And
This is just sick, and this is something to be really aware of if you're ever in this situation with your own daughter or even son, right? Restraining orders. I mean, I am for people getting them, but honestly, I'm more for like getting out of Dodge. If your life is that seriously threatened, like a child custody thing, I know not everyone can just move or anything or leave the state or quit their job. I get all that, but I've heard so many different cases of women coming out of, daycare and boom, it's over. You know, it's really scary. It is sad. Josh and Mom on here. She's always doing easy meals and they're cute together. Oh, cute. And there's my mom sent me a recipe book called Meals for Two. And we don't eat a lot. I mean, honestly, when I make a pizza, I have the teeniest sliver, but I can't have all that fat either. All that cheese and pepperoni, and the kids split the rest. Or I don't have any, and they split the pie, and I have a can of soup or a salad or whatever. And that's what I do. I don't eat a lot of fattening foods. And we never have the money, honestly, like maybe once a year to go to Dairy Queen or McDonald's. So to have, chili hot dogs and cheeseburgers and fries and all that stuff. I mean, that's a treat. Yeah. Yeah. This is very, very sad. And his wife um, is going through different ailments, and they must be bad enough because his daughter, who's no longer here, was helping take care of her with him and the whole family, brothers and sisters.
And I told her that I made a complaint basically, and the response I got was that the victim has rights, and you weren't obligated to notify you about anything.
Oh,
Is basically
God.
what it says.
The hell?
Doctor, I cover a lot of these cases. I unfortunately interview a lot of people who have lost loved ones to crime. That in and of itself is incredibly painful. But the fact that you are experiencing this while having to hear all of these other details about what could have happened and what should have happened and how there were errors that were made, that is so unfair and compounds so much for you and your family. And I just have to say, I am so sorry that this is happening to you. I hope that as we talk about this, though, the story is amplified, that people can come out and help you. We're going to continue to follow it. We're going to follow what happens at that hearing. You have an open platform here to come on, tell us the latest. Because we, most importantly, you and the family deserve answers here to understand what happened.
Yes. So tomorrow's program, any little thing I can find on this, anything, is what it's going to be about. He needs some kind of little bit of justice. I don't, the whole family does.
So again, I look forward to talking to you again about this. Our hearts and our prayers go out to you and the family. And if there is anything that we can do to help, please let us know, okay?
Yes, may I say one more thing before we get off today?
Absolutely.
So you and I were just talking about them coming back to Nashville and letting him leave again. Okay? So the following Monday is when all these people all realize that something's gone badly wrong. They figured out what happened on Friday, but on Monday they all panic. This is July 1st, okay? So just imagine that this psychopath, Mr. Bryson Rivers, is getting phone calls every hour from the monitoring company. Hey, you're in violation. You're in violation. You're in violation. You're having a hearing tomorrow. Your bond is going to be revoked. You're having a hearing tomorrow. You need to be here in Nashville. And this monitoring company is calling him all day long on July 1st. And then imagine that the bail bonds company is calling him. Hey, we got to apprehend you. You violated your bond. You're going to go to jail tomorrow. You need to be here.
Yeah. Thank you. Hi, Pink Fan. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, chicken and dumplings sounds really good, especially with like all the rain, Bake some fries, pour chili on them. Yeah, my daughter would. My son won't eat chili. All right, here we go.
Here for court. So they keep calling him nonstop. And imagine a psychopath being aggravated by all these sources. Are you following me?
Yep.
And then imagine his attorney calls, man, you really screwed up. You knew you weren't supposed to go there. Now you're in trouble. They're going to take your bond away. You're going back to prison for the rest of your life. So when I analyzed all this data and looked at it, this went on all day long on July 1st, up until midnight. And up until midnight, he talks to this monitoring company, and guess what he says? I'm not coming tomorrow.
Wow.
Okay, and this is let's just say it was 12:30 in the morning on July 2nd. Okay, so at 4:01 a.m. on July 2nd, my daughter's Life 360 gets cut off. So basically, they drove this man, this psycho man, so crazy that he had no choice but to kill her. He had nothing to lose. And enraging a psychopath is basically what they did. All their incompetence enraged him so bad that his only choice was to kill her, and that's what he did.
Doctor,
Yeah.
You could very well be right. And again, I say it should not have happened like this. And it's really a colossal failure. I hope we get to the bottom of it. I hope your voice is amplified and you're able to have the opportunity in a platform other than this to explain to our legal system what happened to you, because this is unacceptable. And I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, but I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate you sharing these details with us. I think it's very, very important for people to know, and hopefully people can come out, listen to this, and help you in any which way they can.
Well, let me just say that our justice system is there for a reason, to provide law and order to society. And the disorganization and the incompetence and the failure of the justice system in Nashville, Tennessee cannot be explained any better. That all these people realized they made mistakes. They had a hearing to review all this. While they were having a hearing, Laura and Bryson killed my daughter while they were having a hearing talking about how did they let this guy out of jail. It happened at the same time.
Doctor, I hear you. Again, if whatever we can do, please let us know. We're here for you guys, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody. That's all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Thank you so much for joining us. And as always,
Thank you,
subscribe on
Jesse
Apple
Weber.
Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. Speak to you next time. A woman who seemingly referred to...
Good grief. Wow, you guys. Hour and a half, hour 36 minutes. Yeah, piece of paper to keep an aggressive partner away. Yep. And you'll hear constantly on these cases, she was going to serve him divorce papers, right? They had the discussion of the woman leaving, and They don't want to share the kids. So, off the person because they don't want to share the kids or pay the money or lose the business or whatever. And yeah, leaving is the most dangerous time. I learned that in New Beginnings. Anyway, I'm going to look up tonight and see what there is for my program tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here to PCT is Extreme. And I'm reading out of Courage to Change, One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, but it's the same thing for AA. And today's September 27. If only I had infinite wisdom, I secretly think. If only I could see everything before me, a clear path, the knowledge of how I must spend each moment of my life. But in meeting after meeting in AA or Al-Anon, I am reminded that I can only work with what I have today. I don't know what tomorrow will bring. What's more, I am probably better off not knowing. If I knew what was coming, I suspect that I would spend all my time trying to run from painful experiences instead of living. I would miss out on so much great stuff. I can trust my higher power to lead me through this day so that I will be prepared for the future when it arrives and able to work with whatever it brings. This leaves me time to enjoy the many gifts life has to offer, time that would otherwise be spent worrying. Today's reminder. An old maxim says, "It'll shine when it shines." If I am willing to listen, I will receive all the information I need when the time is right. Just for today, I will know that I'm in good hands. Just for today, I will try to live through this day only and not tackle all my problems at once. Okay, you guys. Yeah, if you want to tip the hostess, help me out. Wonderful. If not, that's okay too. Whoops. And thank you for being here. I like to put carrots in and do Josh Pan's song, but that's going to be when I have something happy to talk about. I'm not going to put that song in, and you know what I mean? And this is very, very sad. Prayers for the Johanssons. This doctor, they live in Mississippi. If you guys want to go to the GoFundMe and help anybody, her name is Lauren Johansson. It looked like Johansen. Okay. Thank you for being here. Oh, nice. Okay. Thank you for sharing that. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. I love you all. Please hit the like and please subscribe to me if you haven't. I got a few subs because of According to Leanie announcing my channel on her program the other day. I'm very, very grateful for that. Good night.